So it happened. Silver crashed. Maybe you lost money. Maybe you thought, the squeeze is over, I'm too late. Maybe in anger or desperation, you sold everything. If you felt any of this, congratulations. You fell into exactly the trap they designed for you. What if I told you that silver's crash wasn't a failure? It was part of the plan. It was stage one. A surgical, psychological operation designed to shake out retail investors like you from the system. Why? Because what's coming in stage two is so massive that they don't want you in it. They don't want you positioned for it. This video isn't about crying over the crash. This video is about showing you that the crash was a curtain, and what's being prepared behind that curtain will change your financial life forever. In the next 20 minutes, you'll understand what stage one accomplished for them, what stage two will trigger for you, and most importantly, the pathway back into this game is still open, but not for much longer. The trap was set. You fell for it. Now let me show you how to escape it. Let me break down exactly what stage one was and how it worked. The crash was not organic. This wasn't driven by market forces or natural supply and demand. This was engineered through massive paper shorting on COMEX. They flooded the futures market with sell orders, not because they had silver to sell, but because they wanted to create the illusion of overwhelming supply. The two goals of the shakeout goal. Trigger one, psychological warfare. Create negative sentiment. Get every news channel, every analyst to repeat the same message. Silver is dead. The squeeze failed. Get out while you can. They wanted you to give up, to feel defeated, to believe you made a mistake. Goal number two, accumulation. While you were selling in fear, they were buying your contracts at bargain prices. Think about the psychology. You panic sell at $75. They calmly accumulate at $75. Then when stage two begins and price explodes to $200, who wins? The perfect misdirection. This was like a magician's trick. They kept your attention focused on the falling paper price, the left hand, while the right hand was quietly draining physical silver from vaults around the world. You were watching the wrong thing the entire time. Here's the critical question. So they scared you out and bought your paper cheap. Game over? No. That was just the beginning. Because their real plan was never about silver itself. Their real target is something much bigger, and silver is just the key to unlock it. This is the first major reveal, the answer to what happens next, the real target, the currency system itself. Central banks around the world are preparing for a new monetary system, a system where physical assets, like gold, return to the center of the financial structure. Some call it the currency reset. Some call it the Great Reset. Whatever you call it, it's coming. Silver's role in the new system. So what does silver have to do with this? Silver is the gatekeeper. In this new system, whoever controls industrial power will rule, and 21st century industrial power has a name, technology and green energy. Both are impossible without silver. Understanding the strategy. If you want to control the new system, you need to control both. Gold, the money, silver, the industrial engine. They crashed silver in stage one to make it look weak, to make it look broken. While everyone's attention was on the falling paper price, they quietly took control of the entire physical supply chain. Engagement moment. Drop a comment. Do you think the world will need a new currency system in the next 5 years? Write, reset is coming, or system is fine. The setup for stage three. But to bring in a new system, you have to break the old one first. Stage three is an event, a planned event that will set fire to the current financial system. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. What is a liquidity crisis? In simple terms, it's when banks and financial institutions run out of cash and can't pay their short-term debts. The system freezes, it seizes up. Think of it like a heart attack for the financial system. How will they trigger it? By exposing the paper derivatives bomb. The financial system is built on trillions of dollars worth of contracts, derivatives that have no real underlying value. They're bets on top of bets on top of bets. When confidence in these contracts breaks, the entire structure collapses. The silver connection. A COMEX silver default could be the smallest but most visible trigger point. When an exchange that's considered too big to fail announces, "We don't have the metal," it destroys trust in the entire derivatives market. If they lied about silver, what else are they lying about? The chain reaction. This is a small fire that ignites the entire forest. And when everything is burning, that's when they'll present their solution. The new system. Order out of chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. This isn't theory. This isn't conspiracy speculation. The world's biggest players are openly preparing for this. Their behavior is the proof. Let me show you exactly what's happening behind the curtain. If you want to understand what's really coming, don't listen to what institutions say. Watch what they do. The gold accumulation. China, Russia, India, all setting records for gold purchases. Why? They're preparing for the BRICS currency, a commodity-backed alternative to the US dollar. Basel III rules. These are new international banking regulations that incentivize banks to hold physical gold on their balance sheets. For the first time in decades, gold is being treated as Tier 1 capital, the same as cash. This is a fundamental shift in how the global banking system values hard assets. What this tells us, central banks play the long game. They think in decades, not months. If they're buying gold at this pace, they know something is ending and something new is beginning. But central banks move slowly. What about the people who think in 6-month windows? The billionaires. Let's see what they're doing. Billionaire behavior. The ultra-wealthy are quietly rotating into hard assets. Farmland, fine art, physical commodities, rare collectibles. They're moving out of financial assets and into things you can touch. Why? Because they understand that in a currency reset, financial assets denominated in the old currency become worthless. Industrial giants going direct. But here's what's even more revealing. Tesla, Apple, and other industrial giants are signing direct offtake agreements with mines. They're not buying silver from exchanges. They're not trusting the paper market. They're going straight to the source and locking up future production for 5, 10, even 15 years. What this means: if the companies that need silver most don't trust the exchange system, why should you? They know the paper market is a house of cards. They're securing physical supply before the cards fall. But there's one group whose behavior is the most shocking of all: the commercial banks. JPMorgan's Silver Vault. JPMorgan is the world's largest physical silver hoarder. Over the past decade, they've accumulated an estimated 1 billion ounces of physical silver. Think about that number, 1 billion ounces. The perfect crime. Here's how they did it. On COMEX, they sell massive amounts of paper silver to suppress the price. This creates artificial downward pressure. Then, at those artificially low prices, they quietly buy physical silver and move it to private vaults. It's the perfect crime. They control both sides of the market. Why are they doing this? Because they know that when the system resets, whoever holds the physical metal becomes the new bank. They're not accumulating silver to make a profit on price appreciation. They're accumulating silver to survive the transition and dominate the new system. The pattern is clear. Central banks buying gold, billionaires buying hard assets, corporations locking up supply, banks hoarding physical metal. Everyone at the top is preparing for the same event. Now let me show you what this means for your life. This isn't just a story about rich people and global finance. This directly affects your savings, your investments, and your daily life. Your savings. The dollars or rupees sitting in your bank account will lose purchasing power rapidly. In a currency reset or hyperinflation scenario, the number might stay the same, but what it can buy will collapse. $10,000 in the bank might only have the purchasing power of $1,000 today. Your investments. The stock market could crash as liquidity evaporates. Bonds could become worthless if the currency they're denominated in collapses. Paper wealth disappears overnight. Your daily life prices will change daily. Essential goods, electronics, cars, appliances will either become unavailable or 10x more expensive. Capital controls might be imposed. You won't be able to withdraw large amounts from your bank. Paint the picture. Imagine a world where your bank balance is just a number on a screen, but you can't buy bread with it. Imagine going to the store and seeing empty shelves not because of a shortage, but because the currency is worthless and producers won't accept it. This sounds extreme, but it's happened before. Germany in the 1920s, Venezuela recently, Zimbabwe. It can happen again. And when systems break, they break fast. The fork in the road. This is a terrifying picture, but every crisis creates opportunity. Stage 1 pushed you out. Now I'm going to show you the path back in. After showing you the threat, I owe you the solution. Here's your 3-step plan to not just survive, but potentially prosper. Step 1, own physical assets. Not just silver or gold, real estate, farmland, anything tangible. But silver is the easiest entry point for most people. Understanding your options. Physical coins, chipped bars. This is the safest. If it's in your hand, you own it. No counterparty risk. Start with 1-ounce coins, American Silver Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, or any government minted coins. Allocated storage. If you can't store at home, use a vault service, but make sure it's allocated, meaning specific bars are assigned to you. Never use unallocated accounts. Those are just paper promises again. PSLV, Sprott Physical Silver Trust. If you need exposure through the stock market, this is better than most ETFs. It's backed by actual physical metal and segregated storage. What not to buy? SLV and most silver ETFs, they use paper contracts, Unallocated accounts, certificates without physical backing. Engagement moment. What's your first step going to be? Comment below. Physical first. Now you have the foundation. Let me show you the strategy. Owning physical is step 1, but you need a strategy to build your position wisely. Step 2, dollar cost average. Don't try to time the perfect entry. Buy a little bit every month. Whether the price is $75 or $95, keep accumulating ounces. Over time, you'll average out the volatility. This isn't about getting rich in one trade. This is about building a position that protects you through the transition. Step 3, diversify your protection. Don't put everything into silver. Balanced protection portfolio. 40% physical silver, your primary industrial hedge. 30% gold, monetary protection. 20% Bitcoin, digital hard asset with no government control. 10% cash for short-term emergencies and opportunities. This gives you protection across different scenarios. Why this works. If the currency collapses, precious metals hold value. If the system goes digital and authoritarian, Bitcoin provides censorship-resistant wealth. If there's a temporary crisis, cash lets you take advantage of fire sale opportunities. You're not betting on one outcome. You're preparing for multiple scenarios. The final piece. This plan will protect you. But what I'm about to show you next could position you to actually profit from this entire situation. This is the last piece of the puzzle that 99% of people are missing. Let me show you the bigger picture, the opportunity hidden in the crisis. Understanding wealth transfer. Every time a monetary system ends and a new one begins, wealth transfers from paper assets to real assets. It's not destroyed, it's transferred from those who didn't see it coming to those who prepared. Historical examples. 1920s Weimar Germany. People with savings in German marks lost everything, but people who owned farmland, gold, or productive assets became the new wealthy class. The fall of Rome. When the Roman currency collapsed, those holding real estate and precious metals survived. Those holding Roman coins starved. Why 2026 is different. This time, there's a technology angle. AI, green energy, advanced manufacturing. This will make the transfer 100x faster and larger in scale than any previous reset. The wealth won't just move from paper to metal, it will move from old industrial metals to technology-critical metals. Silver sits at the intersection of both. This isn't rich versus poor. This is prepared versus unprepared. Stage 1 was designed to keep you in the unprepared camp, to make you give up, to convince you the opportunity was over. But the real opportunity hasn't even started yet. One-line emotional close history always rewards those who see change before it happens, not after. The question isn't whether change is coming. The question is, which side of that change will you be on? If this video opened your eyes, subscribe to this channel. And this story is just beginning. Share this video with that one family member or friend you don't want to see left in the unprepared camp. Final engagement question. When do you think stage 2 will trigger? 2026? 2027? Later? Drop your prediction in the comments below. The trap was set in stage 1, but now you see it. The choice is yours. Stay alert, stay prepared, stay positioned. The greatest wealth transfer in history is coming. Make sure you're on the right side.